Hey YouTube, this is Gracie, and welcome back to Card-tober, a series in which I show you how to make a Disney Bounty Halloween card every day in the month of October. If you guys have missed out on any of the videos of Card-tober, I'll be leaving a link to the playlist at the end of this video, so you guys can head on over to that and see any cards you might have missed from the week of villains, the week of Hocus Pocus, this past weekend, which was Harry Potter weekend, with the bonus DIY video. So you can watch all of those videos or skip around and see the ones you might have missed. Today's card is craft bounding as Cousin It from the Addams Family, and I've decided to use a lot of this brown kind of pleated ribbon to represent his hair. I've also put the sentiment on a black kind of picture frame banner, and that's also to represent the little bowler hat that he wears, as well as this black sunglasses that he wears too. I decided to do Monster Mash as the sentiment just because when they all go to the ball, there's all kinds of monsters and people and all kinds of creatures there. So I wanted to put that as the sentiment. And then I also did the inside with just a simple Happy Halloween. And I chose a brown card just because it went with the rest of the brown ribbon. On the back side, I did my G stamp with a little tiny graveyard, and that's to reference a couple of things. One, the song Monster Mash, it was a graveyard smash, but also because the Addams Family has their own family graveyard just off to the side of their house or their mansion, kind of like in their front yard area. So that's why I included that. Let me go ahead and show you some of the product that I used. I included the Cricut cartridge Happy Hauntings, and that's how I came up with the Monster Mash. Let me show you the actual page here. So it is in phrase Monster Mash, and I did it in size 1 inch or 1, and then it's from the pumpkin setup. So you just have to click on phrase and then the pumpkin. The next thing I used was this little frame, like picture frame / nod to his little bowler hat, from Spellbinders Nestabilities, and this is Labels 8. And then the sentiment on the inside, as well as the mini graveyard, I used the Stampin' Up! Spooky Fun. This is the little graveyard, and then the Happy Halloween sentiment right there. So let me go ahead and show you guys how I created this card. Let me put this aside over here so we don't lose it. So my card is 5.5 by 4 inches. I went back to my regular size card. I was doing really large sizes for Harry Potter weekend. The next thing I did was cut down some brown cardstock. And I did this even though you don't really see it, just in case any pieces were to kind of like pucker up or show through. So I wanted it to be this dark colored brown underneath all of the ribbon. After that, I took my ribbon, and instead of just measuring it, all I did was placed it across the card like this, and then cut a ton of pieces of ribbon. I think there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 pieces on my original card here. So it all just kind of depends on the ribbon and that section of the ribbon. Sometimes it's not as perfect. So anyway, there's some variation is basically what I'm trying to say. After I cut off a ton of pieces, I glued it down to my card. And let me go ahead and show you a little bit of Disney magic here. This is what I've created here. It's a little bit of progress. So I've already glued down some of them, and this is the glue that I'm using. Simply Defined Stay Put All-Purpose Liquid Adhesive, and this does dry clear, and that's the main reason I use this one. Also because the applicator is really large and I wanted to have it like gob on there. This is from Scrapbooking Made Simple, and you can see it's $3.99 a bottle. Anyway, so that is what I used to glue it down. Let me kind of show you what it takes to glue down these pieces. So I just flip it over and kind of do a nice medium size line, and I say medium just because I'm not doing a thin layer, but I'm not doing these ginormous like blobs of glue. Then just kind of flipping it over and pressing it or pushing it up against the bottom layer, or the first ribbon here. I started out at the bottom just so that I knew I was going to have enough space to put all the ribbon. You can start from the top down or whatever. I just think it's a little bit easier to start from the bottom and going up. Just doing a thin layer, or not a thin layer rather, a medium leather. Yeah, leather, okay. And just placing it down. And this will need some time to dry, just to make sure that it doesn't warp your card too much. So after you've glued down all of your ribbon, set the cardstock aside, and then later come back and glue it to your actual card. Because it does kind of warp the paper when you have so much glue. Okay, so I'm just pressing that down. I think a couple more pieces will be good. Let's see. I am personally a huge fan of the movie Addams Family, and there is an argument in my family to which Addams Family version is better. For my generation, I feel like we're in love with the newer version. And that is to say the two Addams Family movies that came out in, I think, like the 90s. But my mom, and I guess possibly her generation, loves the original. That I'm not sure when that one came out. I want to say that was out in the 70s, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and press those, let's kind of squish them together so we can add one more piece of ribbon. So yeah, anyway, I like the newer version of the Addams Family. It's just, I don't know, I love it. It's a must watch during the holiday season. But when you're just in that kind of Addams Family mood. Okay, and just hold that down. Like I said, you'll set this aside to kind of dry a little bit. But for video's sake, we're going to just kind of move that over and show you how I created the picture frame / banner / bowler hat inspired shape. So obviously I just die cut that out with the Spellbinders Nestabilities, and then actually let me show you the cardstock that I used, although it's very shiny and it's going to show the camera. So this is, oh, and you can see me in my messy hair. This is the cardstock that I used. It's very, very metallic and beautiful and awesome, and I've been waiting to use that. And I just thought it was like a nice pop of like a little bit of color, a little bit of glam to this card, and I just really thought it went well with the brown. So I've die cut that out and then already glued my letters on, and I actually used Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue to kind of dab those letters on. Also because this applicator on this Simply Defined is just a little bit too big, and I didn't want to mess up the letters and make it all messy. The next thing I did was I took 2 of the die cuts. Let me show you real quick. I took these 2 sizes. I believe it was these sizes. Oh, no, wrong one. Let me show you the actual ones. These 2 size frames, or die cuts rather, put them together and cut them out on another piece of cardstock to cut out a actual frame. And this is what comes out from that. Let me actually get this over here so you can see that better. So you can see it's basically like a little picture frame. And I've put some pop dots on the back side. So we're just going to take those off. Okay. And put that onto, actually we're going to flip it this way. Just because my frame didn't come out very, wasn't perfect. It's kind of thicker on the left side here, and I didn't want to cover the R because the M is okay, in my opinion, to kind of slightly cover. Just because once you read the whole entire thing, you'll kind of know that's an M. I don't know. That's just my brain working in weird ways. So after I pushed those 2 layers together, flipped it over, and I added 3 little tacky dot singles, and I've already pressed them on just for video's sake. So we're just going to take those backings off and push that onto the card right there in the center. Okay, just like so. And those tacky dot singles will hold this frame / label on there very well to the ribbon. The next step is to just glue this onto your card. So I'm again using the Simply Defined Scrapbooking Made Simple glue or Stay Put adhesive. And we're just going to glue that to the actual card. Ta-da! And you're done. So there is your Cousin It inspired Halloween card. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time. Bye!